Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. And yes, I was absent yesterday. I took a day off to spend it with Tess and Tom and their dad. It was a beautiful sunny day. Make the most of it. It's raining again, but softly, so hopefully I won't have to shout over the pouring rain as I do this reading. And yes, I am back. I'm back with the Guardian of the Night Tarot, and we're going to look at this bizarre story that has kept everyone entertained, that Harry's suggestion for podcasts for Spotify, among other things, was that he would interview world leaders such as Vlad, I don't think I can say the surname right now on YouTube, Vlad and Donald Trump and Mark Zuckerberg, interview them about their childhood traumas and how those traumas shaped them as men, informed them. And people are absolutely astonished at this revelation. It came from an article in Bloomberg. The stories are all coming out now that the Spotify deal has been nixed. They're all coming out, and there were many absurd suggestions by Harry about possible podcasts he could do, but this one took the cake. And so I'm going to look at it just for fun and entertainment, because it's tarot and we all know the drill. That's what we do here. We read on speculation and rumor, and we see how much energy there is around to back some of those stories up. And so that's what we're doing here. The energy, of course, is archetypal energy. I'll get the disclaimer out the way quickly. Disclaimer in the box below. Please read it. Form your own opinion about this story. I'm going to use the Guardian of the Night Tarot. Have a quick look at it because it does amuse me. There have been some very funny articles written about it. This is going to be one that goes down in the Hall of Infamy as far as the Parkles are concerned. People having a lot of fun at Harry's expense. And I'm going to look at it and see who he thinks he is, because he obviously thinks that he's an intellectual giant, a colossus striding the global stage. We've seen that before, obviously being royal, and was able to meet all these people, and somehow forgot that the only reason he met them was because he was royal. So we're going to look at that. We're going to have a look and see what this thing is with childhood trauma. Really? Does he think everyone has suffered from childhood trauma? And then we're going to see Spotify's response. I keep wanting to say Netflix. Spotify's response, and how Harry felt when they swatted this idea away and said no. Just on that subject, I did a reading on Bill Simmons and his grifters comment a few days ago, and I saw the question everyone was asking, which has now clearly been answered, was what was the story that he needed to get drunk to tell? And I assume it's this story. And when I asked the tarot, I got the 8 of Cups, and I said it's mummy issues, and sure as nuts we've got childhood trauma. So I just wanted to point that out. And then we're going to have a look just for fun. We're going to look at Vlad and Donald and Mark and see how they might have responded to an invitation to be on a podcast with Has-Been from his little mudslide mansion in Montecito to have a chat about their childhood trauma. How might they have responded, the three of them? Purely speculative, because that's what we do here at MadWorldTarot. We speculate and for fun. So that's what's going on here today to warm me back up, get me back in the swing of things. Feels like I've been away for weeks. Quite odd. Time is very slippy and strange at the moment. And the world is very strange at the moment, just generally. There we go. Cards are jumping. I think we've got it. We've got the energy we need. And let's have a look and see Harry, who he thinks he is, Spotify, what they thought of this whole thing. And then we'll have a look at the 3 men in question. Vlad has got some other problems today, I gather, from the news headlines as people advance on his capital. And the outcome today, I want to know, is has Harry Has Harry realised that he's a laughing stock? Has it dawned on him that he really, he was the prince and then the man that he became and all of that nonsense? Has he realised that the man he's become is really quite a pitiful soul, a pitiful creature, an object of mockery? Has it dawned? Is what I want to know is the outcome. This little card over here. Let's have a look at our underlying energy. We've got the Hanged Man in reverse, which is an action card. Curiously, Hanged Man in reverse, from a place of limbo. And I think Harry has been in that place of limbo for a very long time. He didn't ever get to do his podcast. He hasn't done much really, but there's something about the situation that made him feel disempowered. It's almost the card that I would expect as the outcome. That somebody who has felt that they have been disempowered is suddenly being cut free. I'm getting this card a lot with Harry at the moment. And I think there are wheels turning behind the scenes. It's almost like a giant answer to the question that I didn't ask in this reading of what's going on in Harry's life. Who's going to pull the trigger first is the question that is in the back of my mind constantly as I do these readings now. And I'm sure in all of yours, and it's all over the place as well. Who will chuck who under the bus? But the Hanged Man is also about a new awareness, a new appreciation of a situation, new insight. Because as you're dangling there upside down, you start to get a clue about things, and then when you're upright finally and cut down from the tree and back on your feet and you can move again, you have this insight. As you can see, there's a sort of light around that little creature's head there. And so something has dawned. Something has dawned on him, and it is about the fact that he at some level is being turned into, I want to say a victim. I mean it more as an object of mockery. But he feels that he's been victimized. This could be the press. This could be all the nasty comments on social media and all that kind of stuff. He's fed up with it. But also he might just beginning to get a clue about his own idiocy or how he's perceived. We'll see. We'll see over here. It's an interesting card because it's Neptunian, it's kind of vague, it's kind of weird. There is weird stuff going on behind the scenes. Just to say, the situation, the overall situation with this podcast that never happened. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. An unworkable idea, because the Ace of Pentacles, you can see the busy bee, although it looks more like a wasp or a hornet. The Ace of Pentacles is about work. Mastering your craft, busy, toiling away, making those pentacles. In reverse, didn't work, didn't make his pentacles, didn't know how to work. That's the consistent message that's coming through from all these places now. Behind the scenes at all of these big streamers and whatever else, that the Harkles, the Parkles didn't know how to work. They were surprised at how much effort it took to produce content for all of these places. So unworkable idea, but also lazy somebody maybe thought he could just kick back at the Mudslide Mansion and someone would phone up Vlad and say, Prince Harry is on the phone, wants to chat, and Vlad would drop everything. And I don't mean that in a sort of combustible, explosive sense. And Vlad would drop everything and say, of course, let me have a chat about my childhood trauma. So who does Harry think he is? Or who did he think he was then? Because we see he's got a bit of an eye-opening, an awareness here as the underlying energy. What was his self sort of belief? Three of Wands, it's not grandiose. It's not that, but it is, here I come, busy, little bird that I am, flapping my wings speedily. I am somebody that launches things. launches initiatives, because that's really what the Three of Wands is about. The ships go out in the traditional Rider-Waite, off they go, and somebody stands on the shore. They've commanded the ships to go and expecting them back full of goods and wonderfulness. So he thought, as I say, it's not grandiose because it's not major arcana, so it's not nearly as high and mighty a card as I was expecting, quite honestly. It's, I will send this message out. I will instruct my minions to phone Vlad, and Vlad will return the call or hop on it right away. And here will be the content, and it will be marvelous, and it will expand and grow. And it's very naive. That Three of Wands for me, as I'm looking at it, it's very naive. It's delusional. I don't normally get that with the Three of Wands. But it's just, this is the world that I live in, and it's all birds trilling and all of that sort of stuff, and everything prospers because I'm magical, and you know, my minions will do my bidding, and everything always goes according to plan and always prospers. So that's what he thought. Tell us about the childhood trauma thing that he wants to chat about at every opportunity. What is that? We have looked at it many times. Five of Pentacles in reverse. It's an illness. And I'm not diagnosing. This is my inexpert opinion, I have to hasten to add. Five of Pentacles is one of the illness cards in the tarot. It can be a poverty, in the traditional sense of the Five of Pentacles, being broke, being left out, being cut out. We're winding back. I've got so many thoughts in my head, it's quite hard to speak. We're winding back to this idea that he didn't belong in the royal family because of childhood trauma. The whole lot of childhood trauma. He felt that he didn't belong because of paternity issues. We've explored that recently on this channel. But also he might have felt he didn't belong because at some level he felt damaged, and he felt the rest of them didn't understand him. There's our hanged man. There's our victim. Our hanged man could be the childhood trauma as well, that he felt that he was constantly being hung out to dry, blamed, villainized, misunderstood, and now he's free and he's liberated to be the man that he was supposed to be and not the prince that he once was. There's a lot packed into that Five of Pentacles. I could talk for an hour on it. You'll be glad to know I'm not going to talk for an hour on it. Also interesting to note that we have the old wise owl here on the card, and this idea of some degree of wisdom and maturity needed to, I'm going to use a Meghan Markle word, and navigate the situation and come back in from the cold. So it's a need to process this thing over and over and over and over, so that he feels at some level he belongs. And I do have pity for him. I have sympathy for him. He obviously is very damaged at some level. Again, in my opinion. But it's not something that's clearly being resolved. It's something that seems to just go round and round in a very stagnant way instead of being resolved. And maybe some things cannot be resolved. There's a lot of speculation about the level of damage that might be at the root of this, possibly even physiological damage. Lady C has got her theories about Diana and her eating disorder when she was pregnant. Other people have other ideas about it, but there is damage here that he's trying to process with that wise owl there. So that's what's going on there with has been. Let us see about Spotify. How did they react when they heard this idea that he was just going to call his mates? And we got the Eight of Swords in reverse. Get us out of this nightmare. This card is meant to be from the perspective of somebody down a hole, a deep hole. I suppose a kind of a trap that they've fallen into and can't get out. There's the moon up in the night sky, and we've got more owls, interestingly. Can see them there. And somebody who wants to escape from the trap, they were thinking, oh my word, can it be that we have really signed this person up and handed over $20 million? Well, allegedly haven't handed over $20 million. We need to find a way out of this deal. immediately. How are we going to get ourselves out of this pickle we have got ourselves into? 8 of Swords in reverse, very clearly. How did Harry feel when they said, oh no, this is not what you are going to be doing for us? How did he feel? Knight of Cups in reverse, he was very hurt. Very. Very, very, very. It's emotion, it's feeling loved, it's wanting to love and be loved and adored and connect with people at some kind of emotional level. He might have had some sort of strange idea that he could talk to them, these 3 men, and process their trauma, a bit like he monetized his own trauma with Gabor Mate, and you could watch that alleged therapy session. It wasn't therapy, and Gabor Mate is not a therapist by all accounts. But he possibly thought that he could connect with them because he's a prince of the realm, and this most popular person on the face of the earth, that was Knight of Cups. I'm so popular, everyone loves me, and these 3 men will open their hearts to him. And so I think he was disappointed, thwarted. He felt that he had something to offer at an emotional level. And I shouldn't be so snarky about somebody who's trying to connect emotionally with people. But there are people you want to connect emotionally with, and Vlad wouldn't be one of them. Probably Don not either, or Mark for that matter. And again, my personal opinion. So disappointed, upset, hurt, probably retreated and sort of withdrew from the whole thing, and had to go to one of those escape places that he's got and play a lot of video games. Among other things he might have had to do to self-soothe. Tell us now about the 3 men. We'll start at the top with Vlad. This is purely speculative. How might they have responded to a phone call from Mudslide Mansion? Vlad first. Vlad, 7 of Wands. This is a crocodile or an alligator. It's a very predatory card, isn't it? Holding its ground, absolutely no. I'm here in my fortress, and I will not open the door to you, you cretin. I'm the big cheese here. And interesting what's lurking in the background there. That's a little sort of, I won't say a bar lamb, but it gives that kind of energy, the little deer or buck or whatever it is. There sits the reptile, the predator, holding its space and absolutely not going to give an inch. So that wouldn't have gone down very well. As I say, purely speculative, purely to amuse ourselves, because why not? And so how about the Don? How would he have responded? He has already expressed his opinion about the marriage. I mean, we've got the Devil in reverse. And I've just said the marriage, and he has been quite critical of the wife, the Devil. She often shows up as the Devil in these readings. He might have had things to say about the Devil, because it's the Devil in reverse. So I think he would have taken charge of the interview and steered it in a direction that might not have been that comfortable with, talking about the Devil and how possibly there was a need or to cut ties with the Devil. See the serpents wriggling there at the bottom of the card, very bit nasty, and sort of entrails or hearts or something ghastly. We'll put the card away. So that wouldn't have gone well either. That would have just been a, oh no, well, I'll eat you, I'll tear you from limb from limb, if if it goes ahead. That even trickier with the Devil in reverse. Slippery character, the Devil, at the best of times. But also, as I say, I speculate that it would have involved some home truths about what is waiting at home for has-been. How about Mark? How would that have gone? Speculating purely here for fun and entertainment. What would have happened? We got another one. another major arcana. I mean, we're getting consistent images. Look at this. Matchy. But also, this is a no. Don't get your hopes up, matey. With that one, star card, but in reverse. Star card in reverse. No, you don't have star power to lure me into this. And literally don't get your hopes up. Not going to happen. So that I think this would have happened. The Don. This no, or I'll eat you alive. If you want to go head to head with me, then you know you won't survive the experience. And this just no hope at all. Don't even dream of it. Don't dream of it. You are not the star you think you are. Interestingly, and they did have a sort of dalliance with Silicon Valley when they first went to California, didn't they? The Parkles, but that doesn't seem to have amounted to much. So final card for this reading, this rather curious little reading. How does Harry feel now that everyone is openly mocking his ideas for a podcast, and particularly this one, and saying, you know, how absurd and who does he think he is? Has it dawned on him? Is he wounded? Is he having some kind of enlightenment, awakening about his role in the world and how people perceive him? Anything like that going on? Or is he just trundling along without any sort of notice? We got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. That's not a huge card. It's Pages is small fry, like there, small fry in that card. So it can be a slight element of humiliation with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, because it's small fry and it is in reverse. So that's the best you could come up with as an idea. Page of Pentacles is really about negotiations and discussions and contracts and deals. And it's in reverse, so that's a deal that didn't come up. This is not huge, big humiliation. Not at all. Despite this card here, this card, the Hanged Man, is more about, well, I'm just not going to take this anymore. I'm not going to be insulted and abused. I'm not going to be hung out to dry anymore. I'm over this. I'm fed up. It could be I'm off wherever he's off to. I'm out of here energy that's floating under here. But this is just small. This is, oh well, you know, I thought I was going to be King of Pentacles, or it was going to be Ace of Pentacles, but it turned into Page of Pentacles in reverse. It turned into a somewhat humiliating rejection of my proposals that I put forward. But it's not massive. It's not I'm going to have to go into therapy about this. He's got enough stuff that he's still in therapy about that he hasn't made a dent in, again, in my inexpert opinion. So this isn't an epiphany by any stretch of the imagination, not at all. So there you have it. That is the reading, and thanks for watching. I'm going to get on with the next one.